AI Business Brief for July 13, 2026. OpenAI extended GPT-5.6 all access without usage limits, while Anthropic keeps bumping Fable's expiration date. Zapier published head-to-head comparisons against Power Automate and Pipedream, positioning itself as the vendor-neutral automation platform for businesses not locked into Microsoft. Community opposition blocked $130 billion in AI data center projects in Q1 2026 alone. Here's the full breakdown of today's top AI stories for your business. AI Business Brief 2026-0713. Next section, lead story. Next section, the Great Automation Platform Battle, Zapier vs. Microsoft vs. Workday. If you've been putting off automation because you can't decide between platforms, the landscape just got clearer. Zapier published detailed comparisons this week against both Power Automate and Pipedream, and the core message is simple. Microsoft's platform wins if you live entirely inside Microsoft 365, but most businesses don't. Power Automate integrates deeply with Teams, SharePoint, and Dynamics. If those tools run your entire operation, it makes sense. But Zapier connects 9,000 plus apps and works across whatever mix you've actually adopted. The real differentiator isn't just app coverage. Power Automate is designed for IT teams to build and deploy workflows, while Zapier lets marketers, HR managers, and operations staff create automations themselves. Your IT team can still set guardrails and monitor everything through the admin center, but you don't need a developer to connect your CRM, customer relationship management, to your email platform. The Pipedream situation is more interesting. Workday acquired it in December 2025, and while Workday says it wants to keep Pipedream available to non-Workday customers, history suggests otherwise. Past Workday acquisitions like HiredScore and Pekin were absorbed as native features. If you're building business-critical automations on Pipedream and you're not a Workday customer, this is worth watching closely. For small businesses, the lesson is straightforward. Pick the platform that matches your tech stack today, not your ambitions. If you use Microsoft 365 for everything and have no plans to change, Power Automate is the safe bet. If you use a mix of tools and want non-technical staff building workflows, Zapier is the better choice. If you're already a Workday customer, Pipedream's integration roadmap will likely benefit you. Everyone else should probably wait to see how the acquisition shakes out. Zapier vs. Power Automate, Pipedream vs. Zapier. Next section, tools and launches. Next section, Waze adds Gemini voice commands for conversational navigation. Google integrated Gemini into Waze for natural language driving commands. You can now say, "Find me a coffee shop that's open right now," or "Find me a gas station with the lowest prices nearby," instead of tapping through menus. Waze also added a less chatty mode so voice prompts don't interrupt your podcast, plus motorcycle mode with two-wheeled shortcuts. The updates are rolling out now. If you use Waze for business travel or deliveries, the conversational search could save time. The routing improvements based on past trips mean the app will prioritize highways if that's what you usually prefer, rather than forcing you to manually select routes every time. Waze Gemini integration. Next section, ShotScraper 1.11, CLI Tool for website screenshots and video demos. Simon Willison released ShotScraper 1.11, a command line utility for taking website screenshots, recording video demos, and scraping sites with JavaScript. The update improves server startup reliability. Now waits up to 30 seconds for connections instead of failing after 1 second, and adds a JS file option for loading JavaScript from local files or GitHub. If you generate marketing materials or documentation and need automated screenshots, this tool runs from the command line and integrates into build pipelines. Free and open source. ShotScraper 1.11. Next section, sqlite-utils 4.1.1, database schema migrations made safer. Simon Willison's sqlite-utils now catches a destructive edge case. If you try to transform a table referenced by foreign keys with on-delete cascade, set null or set default actions while a transaction is open, it will raise a transaction error, instead of silently deleting or modifying referencing rows. CLI and Python API documentation now cross-reference each other for easier navigation. If you use sqlite in your business applications and you're running schema migrations, this update prevents accidental data loss. The tool is free and maintained by a developer with a strong track record. sqlite-utils 4.1.1. Next section, Business Playbook. Next section, AI in Retail. 67% of retailers plan AI-driven personalization by 2026. Retail is going hard on AI this year. 67% of retailers plan to implement AI-driven personalization for tailored product recommendations across platforms. 68% are deploying agentic AI for supply chain activities like inventory management and demand forecasting. The phygital trend is blending online convenience with in-store experiences, with 46% of consumers preferring seamless transitions between both channels. If you run a retail business, the baseline expectation is now personalized recommendations and real-time inventory visibility across online and physical stores. AI chatbots for customer support and analytics for understanding customer segments are becoming table stakes. The cost of not implementing these features is falling further behind competitors who are. Latest trends shaping the retail industry. Next section, Amazon's Frederick County Community Fund, $150K for local initiatives. Amazon launched a $150,000 community fund in Frederick County, Maryland. Nonprofits can apply for grants up to $10,000, individuals and community groups up to $5,000. Priority goes to projects focused on sustainability, STEM education, social impact, and workforce development. Applications close July 15, 2026. If you run a small business in Frederick County, partnering with a local nonprofit on a grant application could fund a sustainability program or workforce training initiative that also serves as a marketing differentiator. Consumers increasingly favor brands that demonstrate social responsibility, and grant-funded projects give you credible proof. Amazon Frederick County Community Fund. Next section, AI tools are exhausting your team, the data is clear. A new study finds AI tools are quietly increasing team exhaustion rather than reducing workload. The article doesn't provide the full data, but the headline alone is worth paying attention to. If you've rolled out AI tools and your team seems more stressed rather than less, you're not alone. The solution typically involves reducing the number of tools, providing better training, and setting clear expectations about when to use AI versus when to handle tasks manually. AI works best as a targeted solution for specific repetitive tasks, not as a blanket replacement for human judgment. New data finds AI tools are quietly exhausting your team. Next section, Pricing and Access Watch. Next section, Anthropic extends Fable 5 access through July 19, OpenAI removes 5-hour limits. Anthropic extended Claude Fable 5 access on paid plans through July 19, marking the third time they've bumped the expiration date since launch. You can use up to half your weekly usage limit on Fable, then switch to another model or use credits. The repeated extensions suggest compute availability is still uncertain. Meanwhile, OpenAI removed the 5-hour usage limit on GPT-5, 6 Sol for Plus, Business, and Pro plans. They also rolled out efficiency improvements that reduce usage consumption, and they hit 6 million active users. OpenAI's willingness to offer unlimited access is winning users frustrated by the uncertainty around Fable availability. If you're deciding between Claude Max and ChatGPT+, this is the key difference right now. OpenAI is betting they can serve unlimited access to their flagship model, while Anthropic is still managing availability through temporary extensions. For business-critical applications, the stability matters. Fable gets another bump. Next section, Industry Moves. Next section, Community Opposition blocks $130 billion in AI data center projects. Protesters blocked or delayed at least 75 AI data center projects valued at $130 billion in Q1 2026, according to Data Center Watch. Active opposition groups more than doubled from 396 at the end of 2025 to 833 by the end of Q1, spanning 49 states. Over 235,000 petition signatures were collected in the quarter. Residents report rising energy costs, water quality issues, noise and light pollution, and greenhouse gas emissions concerns. QTS dropped a $12 billion campus in DeForest, Wisconsin after community protests. Planned 580-acre campus in Delaware City is blocked under the state's Coastal Zone Act, which prohibits heavy industry on shorelines. The U.S. Energy Information Administration projects commercial energy demand will surpass residential demand for the first time this year due to AI data centers, with demand expected to double by 2027. If you run a business that depends on AI infrastructure, the supply constraints are starting to affect availability and pricing. The community pushback isn't slowing down, which means fewer new data centers and higher costs for compute. Plan accordingly. The fight against AI data centers is just beginning. Next section, McKinsey, AI Reshaping Value Creation in Residential Real Estate. McKinsey published a discussion on how AI is reshaping residential real estate through improved customer experiences, redesigned workflows, and trust building between parties in the ecosystem. The article is behind a paywall or requires registration, but the topic is relevant if you work in real estate or adjacent industries. How AI is reshaping value creation in residential real estate. Next section, quick wins. Automation for non-technical staff. If you use a mix of cloud tools and you don't have a full-time IT team, give your operations staff access to Zapier. Set up admin center guardrails first, restrict which apps can be connected, monitor all automations, then let them build the workflows they need. It'll eliminate bottlenecks and move faster than waiting for IT to build everything. Reduce AI tool sprawl. If your team seems more exhausted after adopting AI tools, audit which tools are actually being used and cut the rest. Consolidate around 1 or 2 platforms that handle 80% of your use cases. More tools means more context switching and more training overhead. Next section, Outlook. The automation platform wars are heating up as Workday absorbs Pipedream and Zapier positions itself as the vendor-neutral alternative to Microsoft. Expect more acquisitions and more competitive positioning over the next few months. The community pushback against AI data centers is a real supply constraint now, not a future risk. If your business depends on AI infrastructure, factor higher costs and longer lead times into your planning. Watch for more clarity from Anthropic on whether Fable access becomes permanent or remains a temporary perk subject to compute availability. That concludes today's AI Business Brief. From Carolina Clear Tech. Stay smart, stay ahead.